So I understand that you have a losing it story for me.
Yes. It has actually something to do with all the blogging and the traveling. When I was after Europe, I met a boy, and then we started getting serious, and we traveled together to Africa. So, Nelsie, for people, Philippine passport holders like me, I cannot just go anywhere. I need to go to visa-free countries, all that shebang. I cannot wake up and say, oh, I'm going to Paris tomorrow. I'm going to Miami tomorrow. No, that doesn't work for me that way. So
Why is that, Trisha?
Because it's to apply for visas as a Philippine passport, it's very challenging.
Okay.
With a Philippine passport. You need a lot of things. You need to prove a lot of stuff. It takes months.
Wow.
And, I just wouldn't go through that because there's lots of visa-free countries for Filipinos. So anyway, we were in Europe. My student visa was expiring, and he was like, oh, let's go to Morocco. And then I looked it up. Morocco was a visa-free country. And I was like, oh, Morocco sounds very exotic. And I was young. I didn't know how to travel yet. And he was older. And then we went together to Morocco. And after a month, he just wanted to break up. And for me, I didn't.
How long had you been together?
Morocco speaks French and Spanish. Now I'm fluent in Spanish. But 10 years ago, if you asked me to travel on my own, I wouldn't know what to do, honestly.
So how old were you, and how long had you guys been together when he was like, oh, I want to break up?
We were together a year. We traveled around Asia a lot before we went to Africa and then Europe. I was 22. Because when I was in a relationship with him, I didn't intend to travel the world. I just intended to be with this person.
Right. So you were in it. You were like in both feet, 100%. Yeah.
There was no dream of, I want to visit Morocco. I didn't have those dreams. And then we broke up. He just left. He left me in Morocco by myself.
Oh my goodness.
And then, and then I followed him to Argentina. Just out of, I have this. My mother wanted me. I was so bad. I was really sad. It was hard for me. And my mother was like, go home. I'm going to pay for your fare. And the thing is, if I go home, I don't want to have that environment of people telling you like, see, I told you that boy is not right for you. And I don't think that will help me move on or be better.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel like you're going home with your tail between your legs, which is the last thing you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And Africa was too far. And I said, no, I'm going to Argentina. I bought a one-way ticket to Argentina with the hopes that I will still be able to convince him to get back together.
Oh my.
And I stayed there for months and months and months. He didn't want to get back together. He wouldn't even answer me. He wouldn't even reply to my texts. And my visa in Argentina expired.
Do you mind me asking you how much older he was?
I'm sorry. He's 7 years older.
Okay. So you're 22. He's 29.
Yeah.
You follow him to Argentina and he's like, nope.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. So you're in Argentina. You know nobody but him.
No, not even. Wasn't even speaking Spanish.
And you're not speaking Spanish. Where are you living?
I'm just going in hostels and just being a total stalker.
Oh my good. And are you, oh my God. Was this sounds like such a low point.
Yes, it was.
Oh, honey.
But then when my visa in Argentina expired, I was like, I need to leave. I went to Brazil because Brazil is visa-free for Filipinos. And for 90 days, I maxed my Brazil visa. And from there, I just learned to forget about him. And I went to Uruguay. I went to Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, just around that, because most of those are visa-free in my country.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can do this. So apparently my mission to go to South America was to convince him to get back together. And then all these doors open. I was in the World Cup in 2014 in Brazil. I never planned that, but it was just timing that I was there. I was like,
Oh
You know,
my
I
God.
thought of doing all these things until 3 years later, I'm making my way up to Mexico, Belize, Panama,
Oh my goodness.
Nicaragua, Costa Rica.
So him saying no, it's over, was this in the end this huge gift,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And
Oh
then
my goodness.
along that way, my blog grew because I had content to tell. And I also write very raw about what's happening on me on the road. I share that very publicly. And
that's how you get followers. That's
Yes.
how, right? Because it's that vulnerability. That's what we connect with, right?
Yes.
If you're like, oh, we broke up, but I'm fine.
yeah,
Who cares? We broke up. I can't go on. He's the only right? I'm heartbroken. That's what we connect to.
yeah. They even publish it in a newspaper in the Philippines.
Oh my goodness.
That
Fantastic.
story, because I was really, my writing was really raw because of all these emotional, I lost it. Like,
You lost it. You lost your heart. You lost your, yes.
I lost many times. I shouted at him on the street in Buenos Aires. There was a wedding of my friends, and I also just lost myself in a wedding that wasn't mine. You know, it was hard, but now I'm thinking about it. Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, yes, right. It's sometimes we look back at stuff that at the time we were it's so embarrassing, but if enough time passes, you're like, oh, we can laugh at it. Thank God, right?
I mean, with the wedding thing, what I did there, I still cringe sometimes, but you know, that's 10 years ago. I'm over it. It's just cringy. Like, ugh,
So-
why did you do that? How did I do
because you were 22 and you were heartbroken, right? You were heartbroken and you were convinced that he was your soulmate, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was.
Right?
And now I'm like, nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
So have you have you ever seen him after all was said and done?
Yes, he actually lives in Mexico now.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
Yeah, we've met once, 2019. And yeah, there was I didn't, since I know it's been years, but then when I was seeing him 2 years ago, I felt like, okay, how am I going to feel about this? It's been years. I know, like,
you don't know.
Like, or maybe I'm going to be angry at him, and I didn't know how I'm going to feel when I was seeing him again.
Right. Yeah.
Because it can go two ways, right? You can lose it again or just keep it together.
Right. Or you could go, or you could see him and think, oh my God, I'm still madly in love with him, but keep it together. Or see him and go, what's the big deal? Right? Yeah. He's not that great.
I saw him in Mexico and I was like, I didn't feel any anger or hatred. But in my mind, it's like, you actually made me very famous.
You were like, thank you.
It actually gave me a livelihood.
Wow. That is a great